Hey, long time no see. I hope that you've been well. I wanted to make a video and provide a bit of an update about what I've been up to, where I've been, and just some of the stuff that's been going on in my life, and as far as content creation goes on YouTube, but also other platforms. Let me preface this discussion by saying that I'm not going to do a lot of editing on this video. This is going to be an off the cuff, just a talk about some stuff that's been going on. So it's tough, right? It's nothing bad, but I feel like in many ways, more than just one, I have, in a sense, said I would do things on YouTube and then never followed through with those things, as a result of a lack of desire or a lack of commitment or burnout. And let me just preface that by apologizing, and that if you were expecting extremely regular content updates from me on Discourse with Dobson, which I'm going to touch upon in a second, I apologize. It was never my intention to set people up to think that I would release a crazy amount of content. At the end of the day, I am human, just like most of you. I have two jobs. So if this is the first time that you're watching this video, or you've forgotten about who I am a teacher. On most days, I am an occasional teacher. That's also called a supply teacher or a substitute teacher. At the moment, I'm called a long-term occasional teacher, which means that I have 3 separate classes that I teach. And it is kind of like having a full-time permanent position at a school, but at the same time it's not, because at the end of the semester I will go back to being an occasional teacher. I'm also a teaching assistant at Ontario Tech University, so I help with a course called Learning in Digital Contexts, and I grade and help the professors who are teaching the teacher candidates who will one day become teachers. That mixed with a lot of other stuff, a lot of personal stuff going on in my life. I haven't had a crazy amount of time to dive into YouTube and actually make content. If you do follow me on other platforms, you've probably seen that I've been releasing a lot of TikTok content. And part of the reason for that is because it's quick, it's relatively easy, and I can forget about it. Whereas with YouTube, I have to sit down, think of an idea that I want to explore, research, script a video, edit the video. There's a lot more that goes into YouTube content creation, I think, than TikTok creation. At least in the way that I want to do it. Maybe not for all creators, but in the way that I want to produce YouTube stuff, it's in a way where I want to put in a maximum amount of effort so that whoever is choosing to engage with my videos and my content, they're getting the full depth and breadth of who I am and what I'm capable of. So between personal stuff and my 2 jobs and having a lot of extracurricular responsibilities right now, I would say that YouTube has been on an extremely low part of my priority list. So again, if you were expecting regular content from me, I apologize. I didn't forget about all of the people who have done me the service of helping me grow the channel to where it is today. And in no way am I saying that like this channel is huge, but I am saying that it is because of the students, the teachers, the parents, the friends and family that have subscribed to the channel that have brought it to where it is. So thank you, and that is my explanation as to where I've been. The next thing I want to touch upon is, we'll call it a midlife crisis, but it's not a midlife crisis. If you've been paying attention to my social media platforms, you probably noticed that I changed the platform of Discourse with Dobson to something called Downloadable Dobson. There was one night where I felt that I didn't want it to be called Discourse with Dobson anymore because I felt that it didn't roll off the tongue well enough, and that Downloadable Dobson would. I've thought about it for 2 or 3 months now, and I did switch things over to Downloadable Dobson. However, more recently, I think it was literally today, I realized that I don't like that. I realized that Discourse with Dobson was the progenitor creation of mine, and I want to go back to that. And I want to remain as Discourse with Dobson, as the channel, as the brand, and I mean, it's not like I'm getting paid, but Discourse with Dobson was made by the people who have supported me, and to pull that out under the rug from some people, while it's not necessarily personal, I feel like I kind of did it on a whim with no explanation. So I am switching it back to Discourse with Dobson, because I feel like that is what I've learned as a YouTube content creator, and I would like to stay true to that. And the more I think about it, I do like Discourse with Dobson more than I do Downloadable Dobson. So we're gonna work on it. We're gonna stick with Discourse, and I feel like the YouTube algorithm or the TikTok algorithm or whatever still picks up on that based off of my analytics. So I think that we're gonna stick with Discourse with Dobson. So for those of you who really enjoyed the Discourse with Dobson name, rejoice, because it's back. The next thing I want to touch upon is the idea of the pandemic. So a lot of you are probably tired of hearing this at this point, but I have been relatively safe. I have been practicing very critical social distancing behaviors. For those of you who don't know, I have a girlfriend who is immunocompromised. So it's very important for me, who maintains regular contact with my significant other, we live together, that I stay away from people. And that has been tried and true for the last, 2.5 months or whatever. So there's no worries there. I am safe, and my family is safe, and all of my friends are safe. So I wanted to provide that little update about what's going on. Some of you have probably many questions about school. As far as the pandemic goes, I can't guarantee that I can answer all of them, but if you do have questions and you want to field, my understanding of the education sector, feel free to leave a comment in the thingy below. I almost said doodly-doo, but I know another YouTuber used to say that, and I didn't want to say it. So just leave a comment if you have a question. Feel free, or a question about anything. If you want to ask me anything right now, I'm relatively, to a certain point, an open book. I don't mind answering things within reason. The last thing that I wanted to touch upon is the future. So, actually, no. There's one other thing. The last video that I released on my channel said that there were changes coming to the channel soon. My original intention with the beginning of the pandemic and being a teacher was that I was going to temporarily convert Downloadable Dobson into a platform where I can post YouTube videos for my students. I've done a lot of research about this. I've read a lot of emails. I've listened to a lot of government speeches about the idea of video-based content with asynchronous learning, which the board that I work for, that is what we're doing right now. We are not doing live lessons on Zoom or Google Meet. I had thought it over a lot. and unfortunately the cons outweighed the pros for me specifically. While I would love to provide video-based content for my current 70 students, it would have me working probably 14 hours a day. And at the moment, with all of the responsibilities going on in my life right now, I don't have 14 hours a day to be doing that stuff. One thing that, as a teacher, I think a lot of students don't understand, not to say that you specifically don't understand, but generally, there's a lot that goes into being a teacher, especially like the rapid shift into online learning that has us doing work outside of school. So yes, the profession of teaching, being a teacher, I'm a teacher from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, teaching students, being in a building with other teachers, and that's part of the job, and that's like a rough 6.5 to 7 hour day. But being a relatively new teacher and being someone who likes to create my own resources and someone who doesn't want to necessarily copy what other teachers have done, I make a lot of my own stuff. So if any of my 70 students are watching this video right now, understand that a lot of what you've been given at this point in the year has been my own creation. I've taken bits and pieces from other teachers, and I've used bits and pieces from resources, but most of what you're doing is it's from me. And one of the challenges with asynchronous learning is that I now can't deliver the lesson in the same way that you would sit down for 75 minutes and I would teach it to you. And we would do an activity here and there, and you'd have some time to practice with the content. It doesn't translate very well. And that mixed with things like student habits and like learning skills, especially during a pandemic, I can't necessarily rely on the same strategies and techniques that I would in a classroom. So what I want to inform you of is, while I would love to make a video-based lesson for every single piece of content that I give and upload it to YouTube, it's just not feasible. It's not something that, in my mind, I have the time to do with all of my other things going on. So that was the reason why that video was uploaded to my channel, saying that there were changes coming soon, when in reality nothing actually happened. Again, if you were expecting changes, I apologize. But this kind of segues well into my next topic, which is the future. And I meant to talk about this before, but I just remembered that last point and I want to address it. This is already like a 14-minute video, geez. I cannot, let me just state this right away. I cannot promise that any kind of content from me on YouTube is going to be regular. With my current schedule, being a teacher, being a TA, and all of my other life responsibilities that I have to take care of, I cannot promise that I can release regular YouTube content right now. And I apologize for that. And if that invites you to, unsubscribe from me, then that's fine. I understand. But what I can promise is I want to be a little bit more open to feedback. And if you'd like, and you want to see me make a video about something that you're interested in, or you want to see me do something again, so say I've had students in my office hours say, you should make another Minecraft video. So if it's something like that, where you want to see me, revisit something, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Other than that, I hope that you're all doing well. Please stay safe. Please stay, oh my gosh, please stay safe. There we go. During this time, and hopefully we will talk soon. Bye.